Well, welcome back to the Buffalo Happy Hour. I sure am. What's up, Mike?
Derek, we are back in one of our favorite local spots, Lockhouse Distillery, and we have one of our favorite friends.
Oh, thanks, guys.
For the first time, Katie from BKind.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you want to just tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Katie, and I run a local company called BKind City, which started out as a athleisure apparel company, but has moved into a really cool space where now we're doing music events, fitness events, and all sorts of community-based things.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
So how did you get into doing clothing to start with?
So it goes back in the day, I used to work at the OG Coulter Bay.
Nice.
And it was OG enough that we used to have a dress code. So we used to have to wear like khakis and all sorts of things like that. But we had an awesome manager at the time, Brian Scanlon. And he's like, well, if you guys wear Buffalo stuff, then you can wear jeans. It was pretty cool. So
cool.
I started looking around for Buffalo stuff, and I couldn't really find anything that fit my vibe. So I started going and just making one-off t-shirts for myself. But what I did was they had to kind of be Bill stuff, so I just started doing 716 Buffalo in red, white, and blue. That was my loophole.
Yep.
So that's how I started. And then maybe 4 Christmases ago, I wanted to do something for my friends. And I used to always make people stuff, but I would make them like annoying things like sugar scrubs. Nobody wants that. It's like, cool, spend $20.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
So I decided that I would look into t-shirts, and I found a local screen printer, and his minimum was like 15, 20 things. And I just did a really simple design that just said, "Be kind" on it. And then I thought, I don't know if my guy friends are going to wear this. Like, I thought that it might be too soft.
Sure.
I wasn't sure. So points to a shirt that he's wearing right now. So I changed it to just the letters BK in a circle, and it was really simple. And the guy that I started with let me mix it up into a couple different things. So for each thing that I gave to a friend, I donated a meal to the city mission, which was really inexpensive. It was like $2. So that's kind of how it started, and it was just a Christmas thing. And then a couple months later, friends of friends were hitting my friends up saying, hey, can I get one of those sweatshirts? And at the time, I didn't understand it because it was literally a circle with the letter BK. I was like, why do they want that?
You're really big fans of Burger King. That's
I was like, I don't get it.
Right.
So then, and then in hindsight, I think it was just the quality of the garment was so soft, and we're all kind of drawn to very clean minimalism. So that
Sure.
I think was the thing that got us in the door. So then I just did like a small run for friends of friends, and then that sort of thing just kept happening over and over. And before I knew it, I was selling t-shirts out of my car.
That's so cool.
Which was like so weird. But I still sell t-shirts out of my shop. You like just watch me pull them out.
True.
So yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And then I started learning about pop-ups and street fairs and festivals, and I just kind of started applying for everything. And I was really lucky because I was around a lot of really talented graphic designers and things like that. So we started doing things like getting like a tablecloth made, getting a really good logo. I bought a pop-up 10 by 10 and had it branded. So what was funny was that before we were even legit, we had the appearance of being legit.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Just
Literally.
make it seem like we're legit.
I'm still doing that. So when people would come over to us at street fairs, they would say, oh, I've never seen this before. And they kind of felt like they were discovering something. And that was a really cool thing to watch. And that's now what's been really neat is just growing up and living here my whole life. I've just made so many friends through bartending and just being here that I think people just want to help you. So people started reaching out to me and saying like, oh, hey, look, come into my place. We'll do a pop-up. So it was giving me a space to try out my business without having the cost of doing business.
Yeah, right.
Which is something that I genuinely don't think I could have probably done in the same way in any other city. So
That's very true.
And this,
Yeah.
the sweatshirt that you're wearing is like our OG, like gray and black BKC with the one everybody sees. That's actually a spinoff of my mom's college sweatshirt. So
Oh,
my
sweet.
mom went to Fredonia, and that's from like the 60s. So I always wanted this like retro kind of throwback vibe, which is why we started with that gray tri-bun.
Okay.
And I basically just remixed the concept of what she had. And I lived in Austin for a while, and Austin always had all these neon lights that had the 3 lines for each letter like that. And that's where the font came from. And then that wasn't even our logo. It just was a thing that people started to gravitate to. So
Right.
we
That's awesome.
just threw it on everything.
Yeah, so everybody that's not watching on YouTube too, Mike's wearing the BKind sweatshirt. Sam's freaking out over here. But then also behind Mike and Katie, she has all of her stuff that she's out selling for this, and that you can just go buy. So how would somebody go about buying some of your apparel?
So most of our business actually gets channeled through Instagram. So our Instagram handle is at BKINDCITY. So it's at BKind City. And our link to our website is right in the bio.
Okay.
If you are from out of town, that's the best way to do it. We've actually shipped as far as Australia.
Really?
Which has been really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that's been neat. We've shipped to the UK a couple times too, which was cool. I had to figure out how to ship that.
Yeah.
And Vancouver, which was actually cool. We ended up
cool.
doing a pop-up in Vancouver, which
Oh,
was
sweet.
pretty neat. So I think the thing that's been really neat is everybody just kind of wants to like jump in on watching something grow.
Yeah.
So I had met a couple like 7 years ago in Bali, and we just became
Casual.
friends.
It's just in Bali.
Casual. We just like became friends, and then we just kind of like stayed in contact throughout the years. And then they hit me up and said they'd be in Toronto, so I've just brought a bunch of my stuff with me and just gave them stuff. And I said, here, like, wear this, give it to your friends. And then 6 months later, I was in Vancouver doing a pop-up,
That's sweet.
which was really cool.
Nice.
So it's been really neat. But other than that, we do a ton of local pop-ups. So right now we're doing a ton of fitness things. So we've started a series called BKind and Move. So it's basically any fitness. So if we were to be at a spin studio, we would do BKind and Spin.
Okay, cool.
Right now we have a really cool yoga pop-up coming up at the aquarium, and we're calling it BKind and Flow.
Oh, cool.
So what I do is I go in and I DJ whatever particular studio it is, and we curate the set to whatever their vibe is, and then we do a pop-up.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
can you explain what a pop-up is?
Sure. So I actually didn't know before I started doing them. So it's literally like a pop-up shop. So if you were to think of a space that's completely blank, and then all of a sudden overnight it's like the circus rolls in without warning.
That's
You
really
just
cool.
boom,
Yeah.
have a shop.
Right.
So what we do is we try to create a space that feels really warm and welcoming. So when we're done here today and we do Be Kind and Dance, we bring in rugs and we bring in candles and lamps. So it literally feels like a house because we call it house party.
Oh, sweet.
So we figure we're at Lock House. It's house music set. We want you to walk in here and feel already warm and welcome. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, kind of a part of this is you're also a DJ as well. Mm-hmm. So, were those brands tied together? Did you start one after starting the other, or how did those two merge?
yeah, so I had always kind of been the person that would obnoxiously steal the aux cord everywhere. And I always had all this like obscure music, and I genuinely think it's because I would spend so much time in my car that I would just be constantly listening to music
Yeah.
and collecting music. And then it happened because I was working with a company called Heal Buffalo that does a lot of really cool free yoga events around town, and they had an event, and their DJ had to DJ a wedding and couldn't do it. And one of the girls that runs it, Jocelyn, she's like, hey, I know that you can do this, just do it. And I had never done it out for people. I had equipment. It's the kind of thing that I would do it at friends' parties and
Right.
at my
Yeah.
house. And then I went for it. And then what was very random was I was doing a pop-up one day, and I was just playing music. This was before I was DJing, and a girl comes up to me and asks me who's playing the music, and I was like, oh, let me send you the playlist. And then a couple weeks later, she gets a hold of me and says, hey, my boyfriend's opening up a club in Rochester. He's looking for some DJs. So I sent her a bunch of DJ names, and then she calls him back, and she's like, no, he wants you. And I was
Oh,
like,
that's
I'm not a
sweet.
DJ. I have equipment. I'm not a DJ.
Yeah, you're like, first
I
of
just
all-
play one on TV. So then he's like, listen, he's like, I can teach you how to use equipment, but I can't teach you a music library. So he brought me on, and it was really cool because doing it in a space where I didn't know anyone outside of Buffalo gave me so much freedom to not be in my head so much.
Yeah.
So I was able to learn it. And then the driving to and from Rochester got to be a little crazy. And then I slowly gained confidence. And then I had a bunch of people in Buffalo that were like, hey, let me help you. I'll teach you how to DJ. Actually, the guy that I DJ with every Friday, his name is Kyle, he really took me under his wing and showed me a bunch of stuff. And then all of a sudden, here it was DJing. And it was great. But mostly I want to be the one in the room playing the music. So it just kind of worked out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so
fun.
fun.
That is really cool.
It's so fun.
And it's cool too that most of your business is on Instagram. I'm trying to speak, but I can't. So because when we first met, I was like, well, how do I buy a sweater?
Yeah.
And you're like, just DM me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we just met. And
yeah.
You're like, it's all good, dude. Just slide in the
fine.
DMs.
It's carpe that DM.
Yeah, just slide right in. And I was like, all right, I'm
You're
doing
like, okay,
it.
I'm into it.
I'm like, I'm jumping in, like head first.
It's cool though. I think the thing that's been awesome about Instagram was that there is this really cool thing that happened as I've watched the brand grow is everyone in the city takes this really incredible ownership of it as if it's their own. And I think watching something grow from the ground up, you feel like you're a part of it, and that's exactly what we want.
Sure.
And I think that it's been really amazing to watch the support. So what's neat is that by the nature of people coming in through Instagram, they already feel this sense of familiarity.
Right.
That's what we want you to feel.
Absolutely. And I think it's cool too because your logo says BKind City in it, which just makes people feel warm already and feel like they're a part of something cool.
Yeah.
So that BKind was truly like a marketing genius idea from you because now you're just spreading it out to everybody because they want to wear something that's like, yeah, be kind. Just be kind.
Yeah.
Just be kind.
Yeah. Who's going to make fun of a shirt that says that?
Exactly. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
And if somebody did try to make fun of it, you just point at the shirt.
Yeah, like be kind,
Like,
bro.
just-
Come on.
Yeah.
Stop making fun of somebody.
Yeah, actually, the first pop-up I ever did, we had a shirt that said, do no harm, talk, take no shit, but the talk and the take were superimposed over each other.
Oh, cool.
And I remember selling it to a guy, and like right after I sold it to him, I just heard him talking shit about somebody over there, and I was like, really? And I ended up like going back and giving him his money back, and I took the shirt back, and I was like, sorry, man.
This is not what we stand for.
We can't be having this.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not the kind of
Yeah.
support that.
Yeah.
So how long has this? It's tough to say brand because it's been a brand for a long time. But like, when did the business aspect become like, okay, I'm no longer
Like-
selling out of my car for like 3 to 5 people. Like this is a thing. Like how long has it been since that happened?
Like, when did I start paying taxes?
If you want to say it that way, sure. But you know what I mean. Like, when you
I know,
realize
I'm just
like this,
kidding.
yeah, like this.
But I
is
started paying taxes like 3 years ago.
so 3 years ago. Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. And a discussion. Perfect.
No, the first year. So like after Christmas, and I remember just being so like surprised that it just kept going. Like it just kept working.
Yeah, you're like, how come this isn't die yet?
I know, really though. I was like, really? Like this is still going? People still want this? This is amazing. Because for the first like 6 months or more, I thought my friends were just kind of like humoring me,
Right,
being like,
yeah.
"This is cute.
Yeah.
I'll take one. Okay,
Right,
yeah.
give me your candy bar."
We're still in that phase, so we
Right?
can relate.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But
So-
it's that one person outside of your friend group that buys something or mentions it, and you're like, wow, this is truly taking off.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best feeling in the entire world watching something
Yeah.
that you've created expand throughout your network and reach that second level of network.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had any, like, mentoring or anything around the business aspect of it, or did you literally just do this all yourself?
So I literally just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Good for
I
you.
love
That
it.
is
The
awesome.
school
That
of
is
hard
really cool.
knocks.
It is the school of hard knocks.
It is. You're like, I'm learning this on the streets.
Literally.
Like, okay, I'm not going to park here to sell a t-shirt. I'm going to park here to sell a t-shirt.
Literally. Because it's like, that's the thing. It's like, I have a psych degree. I wish I could I guess the psych degree of all things might actually be helpful, but I wish I wish I could like trade my psych degree in for a design degree, a
Right,
photography degree, like an accounting degree, like literally anything. But
At that point, though, if you went in that direction where you had a marketing degree or something like that, it would have taken away some of the creativeness of you, and then also the, like, I'm starting from here, but watch me grow. Because
Yeah.
I think that you would have been more critical of yourself
Yeah.
designing everything.
True.
Totally.
Because you would have taken it a little bit more, like, I need to do this, rather than just, let me put this out here and see what sticks.
yeah. And the freedom in that, I think, was so great because, like, you don't overthink it.
Right.
Yeah, without a perceived audience, like, you actually just do it to do it.
Yeah,
The
you have
moment that
no
you
concept of risk.
the moment you feel like you're on a stage, you overthink it. Like, what's funny is the Instagram for this and the clothing for this started almost separately, and then they merged. So the Instagram started because I just kind of wanted. So this is probably going back like 4 years, something like that. I wanted a place to just speak openly about whatever I wanted to say, whether it was heartfelt, inspiring, a little more like edgy and real, without having to put my name on it.
Sure.
So I started this secret Instagram and didn't tell anybody it was me. And
Sweet.
it was crazy. And I remember when my friends started seeing it, that was pretty cool because they didn't know it was me yet.
Oh, that's cool.
but
They
yeah.
start sending you like, oh, look at this is going on, and you're
One of
like,
my
oh,
friends,
that's me.
yeah, one of my friends sent me something. She's like, I think you'd like this, and I was like, I do like that. That's great. Tell your
How
friends.
did you find this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was just great.
That is awesome.
And I think like the thing is like now that there's more of a audience of people, I find myself overthinking things that I say sometimes, which is something that I think when you do that, you have to just kind of step back and be like, people are here because they like what you're doing.
Right.
Just do what you do.
Yep.
So you bring. So tonight we're here at Lockhouse because you do this weekly. Every Friday night you bring your stuff. You come here and you have your house party type thing.
Yeah.
Do you have other reoccurring events that you do, or how can somebody come watch you perform?
So I would say the best way to do that is just to check out our Instagram, go to BKind City, and we post everywhere that we're going to be.
Okay.
So whenever we do a music event, we do a pop-up. Whenever we do a pop-up, we usually tend to do music too. So a lot of them right now are at rotating fitness studios. So that is something that you'd have to just kind of check out to see where we're at. But right on our Instagram, one of the highlights says pop-up tour.
Okay.
So you can kind of check where we're going to be coming up.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That's really cool because I actually use this on hashtag not a sponsor Spotify and check to see where my favorite bands are going to be because they release their tour dates on Spotify.
Yep.
That's
so,
awesome.
So you do that on Instagram?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
That's incredible.
So trying to like to tie in the concept of like music and pop-ups, we've started to create just things that say like City of Good Neighbors tour, and then underneath
Nice.
it'll say Lockhouse and the date, like Biker Bar in the date, and wherever we're gonna be. So it kind of like parallels the music industry. And I think something that I wanted to try to keep in the brand is we love when musicians do collabs. Like some of my favorite remixes are when two artists come together on one. And I think that if we can bring that concept into what we're doing in the city and bring in more collaboration and less competition, it's like we don't have to compete. We can all make it.
right.
So speaking of that, so you do a ton of community work outside of every time you purchase a piece of apparel, a meal is donated to City Mission.
Yep.
And then you do events like this.
Yep.
The house event, essentially. I'm just going to call it that. But
Yeah.
what else do you do around the community as well for your brand, for your business, and everything else?
Totally. So I'll do a lot of free DJ events. So if someone's doing a charity event, I'll just donate my time, which I think is just such an easy thing to donate because it doesn't cost either of us anything.
Right.
Right.
And you can always find 3 or 4 hours in your day.
Yeah.
A lot of things I do too is if I'm doing... If I, like, for example, the aquarium right now, I'm doing an event at the aquarium next Wednesday. It's going to be called BKind and Flow. We're doing we call it Deep Sea Flow with Deep Chill House.
That is so sweet. Who's your marketing guy? I gotta have one. Me.
I'm here. You can hire me. So to help benefit the aquarium, we're donating back 10% of our proceeds to the
cool.
aquarium.
Nice.
So that'll happen a lot. So if somebody comes to us and they say like, hey, we're running a charity event, would you like to do a pop-up? In lieu of a vendor fee, what we'll do is we'll donate a percentage back to
cool.
whatever cause that is. And I think that's such a great way to do it because everybody wins.
Okay.
And no one has to lose in that way.
Yeah.
I like how your Be Kind just goes with everything. Like Be Kind and Flow, Be Kind and Dance,
I
Be
know.
Kind and it flows so smoothly with everything. Everybody wants to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I want to stay here tonight and just start dancing.
Yeah, we do be kind of drink.
Yeah, be kind
It
of
is
drink.
awesome. It has like that carry on and
Yeah.
whatever vibe to it, which is so cool.
I can't even take
love
credit
it.
for it. Chad from Lock House came up with it and approached me with the concept of BKind and dance. And I thought it was such a cool thing that I ran with it. We started using it for other things. So the BKind and move kind of emerged from something we were already doing.
Wow.
Figured we just put a name on it. And then BKind and flow. And what's really cool is we're doing a yoga festival. It's called the New York State Yoga Fest. That's going to be at Letchworth.
Okay.
And I'm going to be DJing on the main stage for a really cool yoga class during the festival. And they asked, what would you like to name your class? And I said, BKind and flow, which would be really cool because if we can keep doing yoga festivals throughout the country, then that means that we're subtly putting Buffalo on the map of places that it might not have reached before. And that's something that I want to keep doing. So I think that what's so interesting to me actually is I was so worried when we did the pop-up in Vancouver that we wouldn't be able to sell all of our Buffalo stuff. So we did a ton of stuff that was just a little more generic to anywhere. And this is the thing that sold the most.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember people saying, I was like, why are you buying this?
It's like the most Buffalo themed thing
Literally.
ever.
And then they're like, oh, I didn't even notice. I just thought it said City of Good Neighbors, and like any city is a City of Good Neighbors.
But it's not. Let's be real.
Really though.
Yeah. So, okay, do you have items that aren't Buffalo specific?
Yeah. So we
okay,
have. What do I write now? Even I don't even know. I have a really cool tee that started, and it says "Be Kind" on it, and it's our logo. If you ever see our font treatment, it says "Be Kind City" with like the I knocked out and a rectangle around it. So the guy that I print with had this awesome idea. He's like, why don't you drop the city and just pull the Be Kind and we'll do a really cool print.
Sure.
So we did a black print with like a knocked out Be Kind and we started selling that.
Oh,
and
sweet.
that was a thing. And I always was so worried. I'm like, are guys gonna wear this? And I've been so surprised and humbled by the amount of dudes that are like, yeah, give it to me.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the 716 touch. We, so for everyone watching, I'm stripping, but like our logo has the 716 on it too.
It's awesome.
And it's something that really unites the city.
Yeah.
And if anyone has a 716 logoed shirt, they'll wear it.
Oh, totally.
It doesn't even matter what it says. If it says 716 or something around Buffalo, they'll wear it because we truly are the City of Good Neighbors.
Absolutely. And I think the cool thing too is no matter where in the world you are, if you see anyone with a Bills or Buffalo anything, it's an immediate, like, really loud call out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, go Bills!
Yeah. I saw a meme or something online that said, I walked past a Patriots fan and they didn't say anything while I was wearing Patriots gear. Like, it was two people wearing Patriots gear and they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But if that was two Bills fans, the place would have erupted.
100%.
Hey, just like going nuts. Yeah, everyone just loves the city of Buffalo, and you truly embrace it in your brain, which is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I think something that I've been told happens that I think is really cool is, you know how there's like the Jeep Wave? Well, we have we have the sticker. So if you look on the second shelf down, kind of under the I Heart Buffalo, do you see that white cut out B with the three lines?
Yep.
Yeah,
so that's our. Yeah, exactly. Okay, right on the hat.
The logo on the
that would have
bees.
been the easier way to say that. Do you see? Actually, look at what it
3 centimeters
says.
from the right.
Yeah, go down your latitude, longitude. I don't know what goes with it.
Like, I don't even know what longitude.
So we have decals and we give them out to people all the time. And what I've been told happens is if people see someone with the decal, they throw up the peace sign.
Oh, no way.
When they're driving. And I get all these snaps all the time of people sending me, like, they're at a red light and they see the sticker behind them, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's my friend, you should wave.
That's insane.
And it's cool. And the other thing that's really, really neat is that I used to get all these like 2 a.m. Snapchats from two people that I know that don't know each other, and they would see each other from across the bar wearing something, and they would immediately gravitate towards each other and start talking.
That's sick.
Which is amazing, because when else would that ever happen?
You're literally creating connections.
It's cool.
It's awesome.
I want to do something that says something like, there's a tag on the inside that says like, wear this on a first date, you'll do awesome, or like something like that.
That is so cool.
Just give like slight motivation for
Right?
simple things. Yeah.
Well, did you see what's on the other side of your hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, flip up the fabric tag.
You got this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's so sweet. So for everybody that doesn't know your brand, they see the hats, they see the sweatshirt, and they see the baseball tee. What else? What other clothing or apparel do you offer?
So we focus mainly on athleisure. So we've been calling it sweat to street because this is like you're seeing me in like my everyday wear. Like my wear is usually
I
like.
love that shirt, by
Thank
the
you.
way. It's so
Okay,
sweet.
what's so funny about this is I had a ton of these. I had them printed, and then I accidentally spilled bleach on them, and I had this moment of like, oh my god, I just fucked up all my inventory. And then I looked at it and I was like, it's kind of cool.
That actually looks dope.
So I just started like dumping bleach on everything.
Let me just ruin the rest of it.
I did, and we literally
That is
sold
literally
them
like
out.
Katie's like, I'm just gonna do it, whatever.
It's
Throw it to
fine.
the wall, see what sticks. It's
Seriously. And we literally sold these out in
That is
2 days.
awesome.
Come on.
So,
Yeah.
so that was an accident.
There was total accident, and what
That
was
is
neat
so sick.
is like if you can see it, like there's white and then there's the cream. So as the color lifted, it went through the different layers. So it gave it this like cool kind of tie-dye look. So
See, just remember, being a mistake is not always a bad thing.
Right.
it's true.
Regardless
It's
what
true.
your parents tell you.
So now when I can't sell something, I
Jesus
just like throw bleach on it.
That is sick. We should do it with our remaining inventory. Just
Yeah, no,
throw
you
bleach.
literally
Yeah, throw bleach
probably
on
could.
That is so cool. That's very
Yeah.
creative. So,
but yeah, so
Jesus.
basically what I wanted to do was I wanted something that was comfortable and easy because I think that when you're out in the world, if you're comfortable, then you're comfortable in yourself.
Right.
And then you can have the most fun. You can be the best version of yourself. And everything is just easier that way. So I am always genuinely wearing like leggings, a t-shirt, and a leather jacket, and like
Awesome.
aviators.
yeah. So you have the sweatshirt, the baseball tee. You have short sleeve shirts and long
Yep.
sleeve as well.
Yep.
And then hats as well.
And we rotate our inventory all the time. So we have basics that we always have. So like the black one and then the gray one you're wearing and then the beanies we always have. But then what I wanted to do is I thought in a city where it seems really big but it also feels really small sometimes, I didn't want everything to always be the same. So we'll do short runs of maybe 25 or 50 things, and then we'll retire it and we'll throw it in the vault. So we have a lot of really cool crop hoodies that girls really gravitate towards. We have a lot of really cool like racerback tanks that a lot of girls love. We have joggers that are unisex that guys really like a lot. And we did some really cool festival things. Like we did, we call it like a festival pack, but it's essentially like a fanny pack.
Nice.
And then we did some trucker hats, and some other things like that. So we do like all sorts of weird stuff. We had like some water bottles. It's basically like anything that you would think when you think of like any kind of athleisure. So something that's athletic, but you don't necessarily have to wear it to the gym. Like you throw on a cool jacket and you're out the door. You can wear it anywhere.
That's sweet.
That's how I am with this sweater.
Yeah.
And then, excuse me, for those that don't know, it's snowing out, which is semi-depressing, but it's Buffalo, so it happens probably 9 to 10 months out of the year anyways. And I was going to wear a jacket because I thought, like, oh, it's snowing, I need a jacket. And then I threw this sweater on, and I was like, well, hold on a second. If I just wear an undershirt, I don't, A, want to cover up the logo, and then B, I'm going to be too warm because the sweater is actually really nice, and it's super warm.
Yeah.
And then you just want to snuggle up inside like
Yeah.
a little koala.
Yes.
So I said, screw it, I'm not going to bring a jacket out. And then I was sweating on the way here in my truck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now I got to turn on the heat. It was a thing. But yeah, it's nice. I mean, the sweaters are super comfortable, super soft. I'm terrified to wash it. And
But you can. You
it's-
can throw it in the dryer. It's not going to shrink.
I know.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I'm literally
Don't be
going to take
scared.
your
Don't be
word for it.
scared.
You created it, so obviously it's true. But I'm just,
Honestly?
you know.
She's tested it too.
I've
She
tested
poured
it.
bleach on it. So
Hi,
you're good.
Betty.
Yeah.
The
can
thing
do
that
whatever you
I
want.
think is so funny is so many people will on the low be like, I haven't washed it. I'm afraid to wash it. I've worn it like 10 times. I'm like, it's okay. If everybody says that.
Yeah. Well, if you get a high enough quality shirt, it won't matter.
Totally.
So
That and it doesn't smell.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, maybe not for
crazy.
you. You don't sweat that much.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe.
But weird sidebar. But anyway, so what's next for you? What's next for your brand? What do you see being the next step for you?
So I have
This isn't a job interview, by the way. So you can do.
yeah,
say
where do you
whatever
see yourself
want.
in 5 years?
literally in my head, I was like, 5-year plan. Okay, don't have one. So I think that I have tossed around the idea with so many people that I value their opinion about brick and mortar, and I think that it's a really enticing idea. in theory, but I don't think it's necessarily right for us.
Sure.
If I were to do that, the setup that I've always thought would be something that is essentially what we're doing now. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a space that, yes, it's the retail, but it's not primarily focused on the retail. I'd like to have a space where it's community driven.
Sure.
So we can bring in like a 3-month pop-up where you have maybe a yoga studio. It'd probably have to be yoga because you couldn't necessarily bring in other equipment, but you possibly could. And then we offer a space for emerging yoga teachers that have a following, but maybe don't have a space yet and need a home, which is what everybody gave me while I was starting, and they still are.
That's sweet.
And I would love to say, like, okay, so we'll give you, whether it's a month or 3 or whatever, we'll give you this 3-month space to create. We'll give you a blank canvas to create whatever you want to create, and we'll basically supply your home to do so. And we'll be selling all the merch, and we'll have the space for the music. There's a really cool brand I follow. It's called Aviator Nation. It's the sister of the guy that started Tom's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And
Sweet.
it's really neat, and I love what they do because it's something that I've really followed and tried to parallel. In there, they have a store on Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, and they have a full band setup that they leave there. So touring bands come through, and they'll just pop in and play.
Oh, cool.
So I want to take that concept,
That is awesome.
but with DJ equipment.
Sure.
So you want to just come in and play, just come in and play. And then I would love to have like a juice bar or something. So whether we have like a pop-up or we have something that lives there. Now, if we were to go the brick and mortar route, that's what we would do. If not, I saw this amazing, I don't know what you'd call it. Like, picture a food truck, but the back of the food truck is all like glass and then opens up as doors. So you walk into a store.
Oh, like a mobile. Yeah,
It's like a mobile store.
That's sweet.
But the way that they had,
I feel like that would fit your brand better.
it would be so cool.
That'd be sweet.
Which I think would be neat
Yeah.
because we could have like the music in there. We have the pop-up tents. So we basically like, I love the concept of like the circus arrives without warning. So we basically like pop up out of nowhere. And something that I've loved that has happened is people come into the tent when we're at festivals and they just kind of hang out. And they feel this vibe where they're like, I don't really want to leave. It feels good in here.
That's so cool.
Which is awesome. So now, what I like about that is it almost gives other people the comfort to come in and be like, well, there's people over there. And we always all gravitate to where the crowd is.
Absolutely.
So if someone else is there, then other people come in. And I think what would be really neat is if we could have a space where it's part retail but part hangout. So I've wanted to get what are they called? Geodomes?
Oh, yeah. No, I
Am
know
I
what
saying
you're
the right
talking
word?
about. I think so, yeah.
I kept calling them biodomes the other day. That's
no,
not what they are.
geodomes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So I would love a geodome. So like you have your pop-up retail tent, and you have your geodome. So you have a space where people come and hang out, and then you have the space where they shop. But you're not forcing retail down people's throat.
Yeah.
And something else that I love that we have done accidentally is we never used mannequins. We just always kind of had living mannequins as a sense where, hey, you come over and you're not even working per se, you're just hanging out. You start talking to people. I've watched people do this all the time. They won't even be like working, and they won't even be like with us. They'll just be wearing something. They start talking to a stranger about how much they love it. And I think that no matter what I say, it's always going to kind of be a sales pitch.
Right.
But from you, it's a recommendation.
Absolutely.
And that's so much more powerful.
That's how I bought this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of Corey, right?
Yeah, Corey was
Yeah.
wearing this exact sweater, and I looked at him and I was like, I don't want to be creepy, but
Where'd you
can
get
I?
that?
Yeah, I was like, can I wear what you're wearing?
Yes.
And that was the question, but I worded
Not the same, but.
yeah, but I worded it with, hey, how do I buy that?
Yeah.
So it was still like
Cool,
I
but-
want to be an alpha male,
Yeah.
but I'm like, really, I just want to be inside your closet. Yes. So then he's like, yeah, it's my friend Katie's, it's amazing, and I was like, okay, cool. Luckily he was eating broccoli, so he was in a good mood.
Yes.
And then that's when we linked up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you created it. Here's like a copy of my mortgage.
Yes.
What else do you
Yeah.
need?
Give it to me.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
no matter what, I'm buying this.
I can't tell you how many times I've sold things off my body. The first time it happened, I was like, what? I remember I was at Acropolis, and I had this exact sweatshirt on, and this girl came up to me, and she's like, can I have that? And I was like, what? And she's like, can I have it? I'll buy it. And I was like, I've been wearing it all day. I'm probably been sweating in it.
No
She's
way.
like
Actually
this
off your
literally
body?
happened off my body.
God.
And she's like, no, it's dope. Like, can I have it? And I remember I obviously I didn't charge her full price.
Yeah.
But like, she bought it off my body, and I was like, okay.
You're like, I got a truck like 5 minutes.
Literally, but you can have this one.
You want a clean one,
And then
weirdo?
that's when I started putting
Weirdo.
stuff in my car all the time. So now I always have stuff in my car.
Yeah.
But now it's funny because it happens a lot. So,
Really?
The jacket that I showed you, like the Yikes jacket,
Yeah.
my friend Kyle that DJs with us, he had somebody buy it off of him at a music festival in Toronto. So now I
That
tell
is
my
so
friends, I'm
sick.
like, if someone tries to buy something, like, make your money.
yeah,
Like, I'll
do
get you
it.
another one.
So
Help me help
awesome,
you.
Yeah,
right?
So if I sell this, I'll just slide back in your DMs.
Yes.
Like I literally
Yeah.
sold it.
Yeah, I'll toss
Okay.
you another one.
Okay,
is
cool.
so
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is really cool.
It's like a pyramid scheme that doesn't suck.
Yeah, seriously. Where the IRS won't come screaming at you.
For real.
Yeah, they won't get thrown in jail.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anything else that you would like to highlight about yourself or your brand or anything really?
I guess I would just like to say that it's been the reason why we even exist is because of the incredible support that's happened throughout the city, and it blows my mind every day that we're still here. And I think that the pride that everybody has taken on in wearing something has been so humbling, and it's such an amazing feeling. So I guess my request to the city would be keep doing what you're doing and tell your friends, because grassroots is the most powerful thing in the world. I don't ever really use Instagram promotions because I want everything to really grow and feel organic, and I want it to feel authentic. So when you wear something, tell your friends, and if you can get them to the Instagram, like, I can do the rest.
Right. There you go.
I can take it from there.
Yeah.
So just wear it and love it and tell your friends.
Do you get humbled when you see someone out in public like with your stuff on? Do you go up and say something or no?
Yeah, actually, I almost crashed my car once. I was driving down a hurdle, and I saw this dude, and he was running with his dog, and he had the beanie on that you guys have, and he had on that sweatshirt. And it was the first time that I had seen anybody wearing it, and I damn near crashed my car. And I was like, oh my God! And thank God there was like nobody near me, but I was like, oh, pay attention to the road. But
You like drive into him.
I literally was like, thanks! But it's so funny because all my friends tell me, they're like, I see it all the time, and I don't know why, but I don't see it as frequently as I think other people do.
Yeah.
But I did create this thing where it's a really cool little card, and it just has our logo on the back, and it just says, like, thanks for being part of the fam. And on the bottom of it, there's a discount code, and it doesn't say anything about BKC, it doesn't say anything about me. It's just like very vague and a little mysterious. And when I see people wearing it, I go up to them and I'll just be like, hey, I like your sweatshirt. And I'll just kind of like leave it near them, or I'll put it somewhere in sight, and then I ghost.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and then it's a discount code for them
awesome.
to get something cool.
That is really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. We totally thought of that same idea. Unbelievable.
Really sweet.
Yeah, that's a sweet idea.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is I've tried to keep myself a little more hidden from the brand, because I think that...
Well, sorry, guys.
No, this is fine. This is great. No, this is fantastic.
So tell me more about your brand.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it to always feel like an us thing and not like a me thing.
Sure.
Right.
So I try to always use like the we pronouns, and I just kind of want everybody to feel like it's theirs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. But I think that people seeing you and seeing how you present yourself and how you're just so excited just to do everything.
Yeah, just to
puts
breathe.
puts even more personality behind your brand too.
Thank
so
you.
you putting yourself out there isn't a bad thing at all.
Which is why I think that you're really, I don't know. Here's my opinion.
Tell me.
The giant motorhome RV with the swing out walls would be way more your style. So
Yeah.
you can just
Brick
drive
and
through the
mortar,
Grand
yeah.
Canyon
Yeah.
instead of a brick and mortar where you're like sheltered in place. You're too much of a free soul.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When we
It's
were-
so
it's-
real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we were doing so, the way that we met originally was one through Corey wearing that shirt, but also during our 500 Pearl event that we did.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would have been as receptive of buying something if you haven't come over and talked to us and like expressed your personality on not only you, but also the meaning behind the brand as well. So you're part of the brand.
Yeah, I mean, there's no handshakes. It's all hugs.
Yeah.
Like that's
I've like
True,
freaked
true.
so many people out
I
with that.
love it,
Like,
though.
Yeah,
I
no,
know.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's always how it should be.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so cool is I really feel like it's become this very like close-knit group of people that is spiraling out, and that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So happy for you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's awesome.
Thank
Well
you.
deserved.
It's crazy
Yeah.
that this is even a thing.
I know.
Like, I wish I could tell myself, like my 18-year-old self, like, save your college loan money. You're gonna
Right.
be a DJ that sells T-shirts. Like
Yeah.
what?
Just don't tell mom and dad.
Right, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, but it's fine.
That
It's
is awesome.
successful.
That's
Thank
cool.
you guys.
Well,
No,
thank
thank
you so
you.
much for
Yeah, this
for
has
being
been
on.
so
It's great.
fun.
All right, cool. Well, we'll see you soon.
Word.